Oh, goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would say it's red, but it's like it's blood.
It's burnt sienna.
Blood orange red? I don't know. Like.
See, I told you it's got some orange.
Red.
No, he said burnt orange red. See? Good morning, Coach.
Morning. Yeah. Good juice.
What's the
That was the first question.
Say again.
What's the latest at quarterback?
As far as?
Sorry?
Aiden. No, good. Aiden walked in buildings, was in the weight room, in the training room, and was at walkthrough right now. When we have our walkthrough later, he'll be out there.
So is he planning to start at this point?
We'll see how the week goes.
Antonio, any extra excitement on game week when it's a Monday night game?
I would hope so for our team. Opportunity on prime time to keep showing improvement and getting better and playing with pride and obviously trying to get a win.
How good does it feel to be back at home this week, Coach?
Feel real good. Feel like we've been on the road this whole season. It's been one of those years. But, our fan base has been good even on the road for us, traveling really well. But it's good when you play at home and it's on Monday Night Football. You know they'll show up and be loud. And Raider Nation, that black hole, we get rocking and rolling. We got to do a good job of keeping them in the game.
You guys signed Carter to the active roster. I guess what have you seen out of him that got him that promotion, and what does that mean for your quarterback room to have him there?
Well, I just think just dealing with the injuries and just might as well have 3 quarterbacks up the way the season's been going. So, but Carter's done a really good job, kind of like Sincere, right? Giving us a really good look on the practice squad and the look team, being competitive, really getting after us. And I think as the season's grown, again, it's in practice, but you have seen improvement. I think the moxie's come out of him. He's kind of got out of his shell. I think this is a great opportunity. You never knows what happens in the game. And he has to be ready to play because it's been that kind of season for us.
How much? It would be pretty evident. You would think that he would be pretty good at reading defenses and understanding what defenses are trying to do based on his dad. What have you seen out of his brain for football?
Well, he's a football kid. You can tell he's been around football his whole life. Reading defenses, all that stuff, I think is different regardless of where you've been, going from college to the pros. It is still a learning curve, and I think he has improved. That learning curve has sped up, though, because he's been around ball. It's a lot of the same terminology and communication that he's heard throughout his career and obviously his childhood and now being at this level. But he's done a good job, even as a player on practice squad, of really being dialed into the playbook, the designs, and what we're doing each and every week. So I don't really have any concerns with him.
What have you seen from the rookies and how they're holding up at this point in the season?
Good. They're playing. Playing all of them. They're all playing. Some playing really well. Obviously, the Brocks, the Jacksons of the world, and D-Cam's getting there. But Trey Taylor, Dylan, I think all these guys, trying to find their role. It's really good to see. And we talked about this again several times. I keep bringing it up. Later in the season, you want to see your young guys playing because that leads into a great offseason for them. So we'll keep pushing that narrative, and hopefully they get better and make more plays and more confidence for them.
You Trey going to look pretty soon, or
a look on defense? Probably not. Not the way the safeties are playing. Safeties are playing well.
How close is Alexander Madison to being ready? And I guess what does his return, when it does happen, mean for Sincere?
Well, he's good. He was close. Just a numbers game being inactive, but I would assume this week he'll probably be active.
What is the balance in game when it comes to analytics and just the gut feeling, in game situations?
Yeah, probably me is more gut, but analytics plays into it to a degree. But all the information is given to me throughout the week, and each game, each situation is different. So my whole life and how I've coached and played has been off of gut.
Just going back before, does Sincere keep the job then if Alex is back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's deserved it. He's running the last 3 games, running his tail off. So keep running, keep pushing those numbers up, see if we can get them to 100.
Coach, we know the downside of playing a lot of young players, but is there any possible competitive advantages of playing young players in the sense that there's not a lot of film necessarily on those players?
Well, I don't worry about the film. I think now you got fresh, eager, hungry players that's going out there. Great opportunity for them to move forward and make a stamp for themselves. So I've never been fearful of playing younger guys. I think for us, that's kind of what's happened the last 2 years. And what you see is growth. And as we continue to do that, we keep building our team. I think a lot of teams, coaches especially, are judged off the development of young players. And I will say that's happened here.
Antonio, what have you thought of Michael Meyers in the last few weeks since coming back?
Yeah, listen, all the attention goes to Brock, and well-deserving. But, Big Mike is a really, 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 really good tight end. And when the opportunities come, like they did last week, when they tried to take away Brock early and we throw it to the open defender, Mike's giving up his body, see him jumping, diving, doing all this stuff. Man, I think just getting him going, keep getting that confidence back since he's come back, getting him the ball, feeding him. But he's a tremendous talent. He's always been one of my favorite players here when we drafted him. And just the more we can get him going, the better we'll be. I like 12 personnel. That's a really good grouping for us. So the better we can get those 2 players playing, Mike and Brock, I think the more dangerous we are.
What has Adam Butler brought to this team this year, especially with the loss of Christian Wilkins?
Energy, love for the game, passion, maturity, leadership, vocal player. A lot of stuff that we do with the games and rush coordination, he's a big part of it. And I ain't gonna lie, for now, the last 2 years, he's been very productive. You know, rushing the passer, playing the run game, things that people probably knocked him for before he got here. He's really improved in those areas.
You talk about Sincere and even Jonah recently, but what are some other players you feel on the team that has really stepped up when their number's been called and you see them having productive futures, not even just for the end of this season, but just moving forward on your team?
Well, I'll go back to it's good we don't talk about him, DJ Glaze. I mean, he's been the most consistent rookie that I think we've had other than Brock. The other player that you see, and you only see a little bit of him, hopefully get him some more reps, is Amari Burney. I think he's done a good job as well. Trey Tucker for the limited touches, but there's been some great opportunities there for him. And then Jackson Powers. I would say those are the guys that stand out. Isaiah Palomar is another one who's taken advantage of a player going down in Marcus Epps and has really stepped in and kind of put himself in position to be a starter going forward.
Coach, can you go really quickly back to Adam Butler, just talking about, I feel like in the last couple of games, he's kind of had a little bit more speed to him, a little bit more pressure. What do you think that has to do with, in these last games, just getting himself more involved?
Well, I think it's just a credit to not just him, but to our team, just the way they're playing. They're competing at a high level. I think there's an opportunity for him. Let's be honest, he's a free agent, so nobody watches September film. You watch those last 5 to 6 games at the end of the season. Obviously, we're not in the playoffs, so he's making the most of his opportunities. Again, Christian Wilkins was our starting 3 technique. Adam Butler was a rotational guy. Now he's a starter. And he's making the most of his opportunities. But he's always done it. He's always been that guy. He's an undrafted guy that just kind of grinds and grits and finds his way. And more importantly, what I love about him, he's a team player. He really keeps that group settled, calmed down, kind of like an older big brother, sort of say. But he's really been, I can't speak highly enough for what he's been able to do for us. The production, I wish I could, obviously equal up to more wins. But from an individual standpoint, very well.
Has Jakobi Meyers been that same guy, but at the wide receiver position?
Yeah. Very, very good. I mean, again, when you lose a guy like Devontae Adams, that's tough. But then here's a great opportunity for Jakobi to prove that I could be a number 1 wide receiver. And I think he's made the most of his opportunities. Hopefully we can get him to 1,000 yards with some wins here as well, double up on that one. And I think just showcasing everything that this player does, because he does so much dirty work that we don't ever talk about the receiver, right, and what he's able to do as a route runner. I mean, hell, he could throw the ball. We can do a lot of stuff with Jakobi. So Jacoby's one of my guys he's like an AP guy. Right, if I can say who's the AP guy, it's Jakobi, right? He's got that grit and that toughness to him.
Speaking of grit and toughness, obviously that's probably how the defense is preparing for a guy like Bijan Robinson, who can be pretty dynamic. What do you see when you look at Bijan?
Yeah, I don't like watching him. I wish they put the other running back in. He's a really good player. I've watched him since high school, college. Dynamic player. I mean, reminds me of when I played Reggie Bush. I mean, first guy doesn't tackle him, line him up at wide receiver, out the backfield, run game, impressive. I mean, a really, really good football player. We got our hands full with this one. We're going to need all 11 Raiders to make this guy get on the ground and tackle him. It's going to be a difficult challenge. Obviously, a tremendous player, but our guys are up for it.
Coach, what do you think about, obviously, we brought up Bijan, but they also have a nice running back behind Bijan as well, and Tyler Algier. How do you make sure those guys stay focused even when Bijan is not necessarily in the game?
Yeah, I mean, overall, this whole offense. I mean, let's keep naming guys. You got Pitts, you got Drake London, you got Tyler. I mean, this is a really explosive, dynamic offense with Kirk Cousins there. Offensive line is playing well, plays good as a unit. We're going to have to be dialed in. And I thought last week our team, against a very good, explosive offense in Tampa Bay, for 3.5 quarters did just that. And we're going to need to do that for 60 minutes.
You talked about Michael Mayer on the field, what he's done. How has he been just off the field, getting back with the team, being back around here?
Just like Big Mike, smiling, being himself, big personality. That's what we missed when he was gone.
That's good.
Go.
All right.
All right.